Okay, maybe. I'm going to give it a few minutes and see if this works. Hey, Jan. Hi, Terry. Hey, Marianne. I don't know, guys. I mean, even after I closed everything, YouTube said I was still live, and I knew I had nothing up, nothing. I had nothing going. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I haven't changed any settings. I haven't had any updates. Sorry about that, Susan. I have not a clue. I have absolutely not a clue. So we're just going to start completely over. Whatever YouTube said, live said I had going, I'll delete it afterwards if it ever shows up. It doesn't even show up for me to delete. So, not sure. All right, fresh start. 2021, first video of the year. We're starting fresh. If anybody can go to the groups and make sure that they have the link on those and save that link for me, and I will also fix that on the post after the live. Thank you all for your support. Greatly appreciate you. All of my YouTube memberships, moderators, Ko-fi supporters, and patrons. You guys are wonderful. I am Jan. I'm feeling fine. I did get exposed to COVID, but I've had no symptoms. Well, I say no. I had a little bit of a headache the other day, and I thought I was running a little bit of a fever, but I think it was psychological. I don't think I actually was. So, yeah, there's a troll for sure. All of a sudden, Messenger said that I needed to log in, and I was logged in, and I was chatting with my moderators about the video, and all of a sudden now I have to reinstall Messenger. Don't know. I'm just going to chalk that up to gremlins and Facebook. So now that we have everything back on track, after I've said thank you to everybody, I want to come in and I want to show you guys. I'm going to have to open up that again because you guys couldn't see, and I do apologize. If you are a Patreon supporter or a Ko-fi supporter, when you become a supporter, you are going to be going to my page and supporting. Now, if you're on Ko-fi, as I was showing, you're going to see, if you come over here on the main page and click on posts, you'll find the January calendar. Now, the more that goes on through the month, the more that will be at the front. I don't think I can pin a post on Ko-fi, but I will try if it allows me to, and I will keep the calendar at the top. And if you're a monthly supporter, it will allow you to see that, and you will be able to get the password once you have done the monthly support. If your monthly support runs out, or you cancel, or you do one-time support instead, you will not be able to see that. And here we go with the camera thing now. I can't get it together now. It's got me all messed up. That was me. That was not them. Okay. So on Ko-fi, you're going to see it. You're just going to go to post, and then you'll see this. Again, if you are not monthly, you won't see it. And if you did one-time support, you won't see it. If I post a video that's coming up or something like that, it's going to come up, and it's going to be before that. But once you do your support, if you look for the monthly calendar, you'll find it. It contains the password and a link to the site. If you do it on YouTube, on Patreon, you're going to see my page here. You're going to come in on the page after you've done your support. You will get a message from me. It will highlight here, I think, a little bitty blue circle, and it's going to have the number of messages you have in there. Okay? So once you see that, you click on that, and it's going to contain the link to my site and the password that I have issued for you to access the files. Okay? If you don't get it, message me. You can message me here by writing a new message, or you can message me on Messenger, or you can come to the Elite group, and if you're a member, you'll be added to that group, and I will give you instructions on how to get there. Okay, so there are several ways of getting that. Now on YouTube, if you go to your YouTube and you sign in, up under your header, we're just going to call this a header, your YouTube header will be there, and right up under it you will see memberships. I forgot what all it says. It says 2 or 3 things: videos, playlist, memberships, all that kind of thing. If you click on membership, it will show your Crafting with April membership. You'll click on that and all your information will be right there in there for you, okay, so that you can log in. All of them, all 3 of those platforms will bring you here. When you click on craftingwithapril.co, the links in those posts, it will bring you here. These are where the files are. If you want to get to the freebies tabs, you will have to be logged in. You'll have to register and log in, but we have 1, 2, 3 freebie tabs. You don't have to be a supporter for that, but if you're a supporter, you have those too. Right here you have the 2020 files. This is a button, guys, not just these drop downs. This is also a button, okay? And I'm going to show you that here in a second. As you notice, when you go to 2021 files, there's no drop down. It's because all of these are live, but some of them have more pages. These are additional pages to this page. So this is like page 1, page 2, page 3. Same here. 2020 files, Christmas files, all of these are tabs. Then you have your 2021 files. You do not have to log in. If you want to log in, you can log in or register if you haven't. Register is in black. Login is now in black. So you can log in, but you don't have to log in to access the files. Not needed. That is your login, what you created with your email and your password. The password I give you, when you click on this, this is going to pop up. This is where that password that I supplied you goes. Once you've got that in there, you're going to hit login. I don't save that because it's not my login password. And then it's going to open up, and as you scroll down, you'll see the files. Now we only have tonight's file in the 2021 tab. You only have to log in once with the password when you're on there. Then you can move freely about the other pages. I just click the 2020 tab here, and it's going to load that up. And now you can see the December and all the 2020 files. So super easy, super simple. We are simplifying it. Each year we get better and better. So some of these were difficult for you guys to find, and we streamlined it a little bit in 2020, and now in 2021 we're doing even more. And I say that because you come here, you're going to see your tutorial, and you're going to see the splash screen from that tutorial. The next file will go below or above this one. It will be right here above this next one. So they will be in chronological order from the newest to the oldest when you log in. So if you know the video date you were watching, the video date will be there. You have the file number. Okay, so you know that you're going to be looking, if you're looking for tonight's file in 2 years, you're going to say, okay, it was filmed on 01/04/2021. That's the tab I need to go to. That's where I'm going to find the file. Okay, and the calendars are going to remain in here so that they'll be sectioned off. Once we get to February, February's calendar will go here. And then all of January's videos and files will be below the January calendar. Does that make sense for everybody? So it's going to make it easier. It may take you a little bit of getting used to, but it will make it easier to find files. Okay? Because everything's going to be there together. Now, beside this, you notice we have right here, this one says DS. This is a design space file. When I can, I will use all free images. Cricut has the right at any time to make a free image, a paid image, or an access image, and there's nothing that I can do. Okay, so I can't control that. So what image, if I use this little monkey and it was free this week, then it's free for you guys to cut this week if you don't have access. It is an access image. I try never to use licensed images because I don't want you guys to have to pay for something. So if it's an access image and you don't have access, yes, you are going to have to pay for it. I can't help that. That's Cricut, okay? So there are ways around that. And before I was telling you guys you can eliminate the elements, take those elements out and swap them out for something that you do own or upload your own, and then you can change them out. I've taken that out of it for you. Right here you're going to get a Sure Cuts a Lot file. And sometimes you may not get a Design Space file, but you may get just strictly a Sure Cuts a Lot file that you're going to have to upload. But if I do a Design Space file and I can do an SVG of it, I will, so that you have that. What you're going to do, and this is your tutorial, is always going to be over here. You're going to click on it, and we're going to show you guys how to upload your files. So once I've clicked on it, this page is probably going to be blank, but I'm on a Mac. It unzips mine automatically, and it's right here. So I have that. So then we're going to go over to Design Space, and we're going to go to a new project, and we're going to click Upload, Upload an image, and I've already put it in there once. It's okay, I'm going to delete them because I don't need them. But then you're going to browse, or you're going to drag that file in, okay? So let me bring that page back up, and I can close it. So I'm going to just slide this down and resize it so you guys can see. There we go. So right here is where my download is. I'm just going to drag that over, okay? And there it is, boom. So I can get rid of that. I don't need to be on Crafting with April anymore. I have my file. You're going to name it and tag it, and you can see that this is the January 4, 2021 file. We don't have a search option yet, so you're going to need to name and tag this. So what I would do at this point, you can leave that in if you want, and name this Swing Card Base, okay? And then tags is going to be cards, and then I'm going to save it. All you're going to do at that point is you're going to click it, and you're going to insert your image, okay? Now you have the basic card base. Not going to cost you a penny, nothing, totally free, 100%, okay? However, there's no pretties in there, okay? Those are what you're going to have to bring in and do on your own. If you want the pretties already done, because I've already done the work for you, then you're going to have to figure out a way to change out the Design Space images or use the Design Space images. And if you don't have access, you're going to be prompted to purchase those. Again, I have no control over that. I can't fix that for you. So like right here, you'll see these are the images that I used. This is an access image. This is an access image. This is an access image. And this is an access image. All of this, access images. The square and the circle are the only, and the line are all access images, but they're free. I don't know if the awesome font is free. That's what I used. But they're all access. You can see there's no licensed images in there. But if I take all of those pretties away, I'm going to replace that other. You saw what was in the other. This is what the original file is. And that's what you're going to have it with all the pretties gone. If you want all the pretties already in there, like this is actually the exact same file except you have your elements. So we have our little monkeys that I used, the tree that I made, all of this. This I forgot to put in that file, guys. Well, I can't actually put that in the file. This is something that you'll have to have with whatever you use. But you can see, here's your green panel that's in there. Here's this, and here's your two circles. You don't need the score lines on there. I just put those on there because I could. Don't need those. But you can see they are exactly the same base. Yes, if you do purchase the image, if you use this and you hit make it and you don't own that image, I'm just going to show you guys. I'm going to see if I can find a licensed image. I know Disney is, so let me search Disney. Maybe there's something I don't have. Purchase, purchase, purchase. I know I don't own them all. Maybe I do own them all. Let's see. Anybody know of a licensed image that I can throw in there? Oh, here, I'll just do a font. How about that? Go to text. So let me just get a font. Same thing whether it's an image or a font. So I'm going to change that. Go to Cricut. There's one. So right here, I don't own this font. It's $4.99. So I'm going to change that to this font. And then if I hit make it, right here at the bottom, you can see it says checkout. So it's not going to let me do that font that's here on screen on mat number 3 unless I pay the $4.99. But what if you don't know what you're paying for? Okay, if I click on checkout, I'm going to get this box pop up, and hopefully there's no private information on there. There isn't. Okay, now I have access, so you see that it's going to give me a discount of 50 cents on there because of my access, so I'm not going to actually pay that, but I do have to pay tax, so I'm going to pay $4.82. But it's telling me right here I'm paying for the Alphalicious crown tag. Did I just buy that? No, I did not. I can just click on checkout so that I can see what it's charging me for, but it's not going to charge me unless I put in my Cricut password here and then hit authorize. That is the only time you're going to have to pay for it. So if you're being asked to pay for something and you don't know what it is, come over here and look. Say, okay, it's charging me for that monkey. I don't own the monkey. Let me see if I can find a monkey that I own in my own images and upload that, and then I can get rid of that out of the file and it won't ask me to pay for it. So that's how you can get around those. Okay? So I just wanted you guys to be aware. All of these, I put some images together, and I'm going to show you guys how I did that. I'm going to do a new file because I'm not going to mess up this file. I'm not going to save it. This is already set up for all of my patrons. If you want it for a time saver so that you can come in here and save time, I've put that file together for you. But if you don't want to pay for any access images, we are going to have some workarounds this year. Okay? So let's take a break and do a Dreaming Tree giveaway. Okay? We had a giveaway, and I want to say thank you to Leo and Mike over at the Dreaming Tree. They've given us some giveaways to give you guys throughout the year. So we will be having more. This one was kind of short notice. I will be putting another one up tonight or tomorrow, and it's going to run all week. And we're going to start doing some drawings on Mondays here for some Dreaming Tree gift cards, okay? They're $6.99 a piece, and you can use these for any of the items that you want that you see over at Dreaming Tree. Leo has videos on all of his projects so that you can cut yours and follow along with him. I do suggest, especially if you're new to Dreaming Tree, that you watch his video before you start picking your papers and doing all of that. Get everything, watch it, then pick your papers, then sit down with that video and put it together so that you're a little bit familiar, okay? That way you know what you're going to do. You can know what papers you want to pick, get everything all lined up, get it cut out, sit down with your pieces and follow along watching it a second time, okay? And because Leo was fantastic. He has some awesome videos on putting those things together with you guys. Okay? So I am going to pick Rafflecopter picks the winners. I do not pick them. And and we're going to pick 3. And the first one, I'm just going to screenshot this and show it to you guys because I have to protect their information. And we are going to talk about how to flatten an image and how I did this, because I used a couple of images to do this. Let me get my images here. We're actually, yeah, I was going to just do a whole new page, but we don't need to. Here's the monkey that I use. I selected him. This is image number M39ABE, if anybody wants that one. And then I also used, this one is other one's a Miss Kate's Cuttables monkey right here. And this is the cute Valentine monkey, and that is MA8240BC. Okay, so I'm going to select that one too, and we're just going to pull those in because I want you guys to see. I've already resized them. I'm just going to pull this stuff down here. We're not going to save any of this. You can see that these come in. They're different sizes. They are SVGs. They're not print and cut, but I wanted to use them for a print and cut. Okay? You have no clue how to get the filed on. If you are a Patreon, if you'll watch this video back, I did show that, and you'll be able to get that. And if not, message me on Messenger, and I will help you out after the live. So we have everything here, and it's in layers, but you can notice on my card, mine match. My colors all match up. So if I were to just flatten this, it's going to print them and cut them in the colors that they're in. And that's not what I wanted, okay? I wanted them to match up so everything was cohesive. So while they're in this shape, you can come over to, you got to select it first, color sync up here at the top, and you can take a look here. You can combine all of your colors to bring those together in that layers panel. So on this one was really super dark, and I can tell because this is the face and the ears and all of that. I'm just going to slide that down to match my other. Where is it? That one is this piece. So I'm just going to slide it in here, and then I'm going to take, maybe I didn't use that piece. It's not showing up. That's what it is. I'm just going to play around and get him to the right level. Got him in the wrong level. Let me undo. I'm missing a piece. Oh, I see what it is. I flattened it. Okay, so this guy is there. I didn't change that. I took this piece and I brought it down into the dark. I think that's what I did. Anyway, you can see that I did color sync everything up, dragging it. My monkey there. There it is. Maybe there. I left that dark brown. This piece is the light brown. There we go. There we go. So you can change it up just by moving those pieces around. I'm going to move. I don't know which one of these I want to move. I think it's this one. Yay! But you can see I got a different look on this one than this one. I don't remember exactly which ones that I swapped around. There we go. I think I put both of these in there and then flattened, and that's what I did because I didn't want that extra layer. So you can bring those in and bring those down, and then when I select this image and go to flatten, there we go. Now I have that same look, and then my colors match up together, okay? So play around with it. Now, if you want that extra layer in there, I know that what I did was because I didn't like that extra layer in there with that third color up there. It kind of looked funky to me. But if you want that extra layer in there, all you've got to do is go to your layers panel before you flatten it and put it in there. So now I have those that match up, and I've matched my colors. Now for this one, you can see that I don't have that limb. What I did is I ungrouped it, and I've gotten this layer and this layer, and hey, that one's connected to that limb. So how did I do that? Okay, I got rid of that. So how do I get that back in that color? Because now if I do this, I don't have a face on him. Okay, this one needs a face. This is where your contour comes into play. Okay, your contour tool, guys, removes cut lines. I can remove the outside cut line, which is outside, and then I'm left with just the face. Okay, so that I remove the outside cut lines there, or I can remove the inside cut lines by clicking here or clicking them over here, and then I get that solid shape. Okay, I'm going to duplicate it because I forgot to before I did that. Not a big deal. And I'm just going to hide all contours, show all contours. And now I have my face back. And then this one, I'm going to go back over to my color sync just so I don't have to try to get all the colors to go back together. And I want to take that solid one without the face and put it in the dark category. And now I can arrange them. Send that to the front. Going to align center. Oops, he doesn't line up, so I want to line him up. Align top, align center horizontally. Now I have the monkey looking just like the one up here. Okay? Super easy, super simple. But I need this shadow layer. So how do I do that? I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to select that dark layer again and duplicate it and bring that to the side. Okay? And then I'm just going to select all of these, and I'm just going to flatten that. Okay? Because I need a shadow layer, but I have to add my heart on first. Okay? You don't want to resize this at this point, and you'll see why in just a minute. So what I did is I went into images and I got a heart. Yeah, I love contouring. This is the heart I used in case you guys wanted. Is this heart number MA0596. That's one of my favorites. And I brought that heart in, but I want that heart to be the same pink of this one, and I can tell that it's not the same pink. And because it was an afterthought, now I've got to go in and I've got to unflatten this guy. I want to unflatten it, and I'm going to show you another way to get your color rather than color sync. Unflatten, there we go. And then I'm going to come up here to my print and go to no fill, and he's all changed back. Okay, going to select on the pink of that heart, going to select my color up here, and then right here it tells me. And if I go to advanced, now I have that color number. So I'm just going to copy it by Control C or Command C, depending on if you're on a Mac. And then I'm just going to undo because I don't want to have to color sync all of him up again. So now I've got him ready, and I've copied that. Going to go to my heart, come back to advanced, going to highlight that, and I'm going to Control or Command, Command V, oops, and I didn't copy it. Oops, it didn't copy. That's the old YouTube that was in there. Redo. It's just not going to let me. No fill. Get that heart, come over. It's easier to color sync for me. Command C, copy. And then I'm just going to undo so I don't have to color sync everything back. There we go. And then I can bring this in, advanced. Lots of ways to play with your colors. And now that heart is going to match up with that one. Okay? Super simple, super easy. But now I want to duplicate that, because I'm going to bring that in, and I'm going to put that in this little monkey's hands. Actually, I don't, yeah, I do. There is an easier way. I shouldn't have flattened him yet. Unflatten. There we go. Going to change him back. I do this all the time too. I go in and flatten before I should have. I'm going to go back to cut. No fill. Okay, so now he's not flattened yet. So I've got him all lined up. And then if you want to put music notes or anything like that, you need to go and get those like I did here. You need to go get those and bring those in as well. Put his hands, everything where you want them. I've got my copies over here in case I need them. Then I'm going to actually get rid of these. This is easier. I'm going to select these in position and duplicate because that's where I want him. He's all positioned up. I'm going to select that and flatten. Now he's ready. Now I'm going to get this one without moving anything. I'm just holding my shift key and selecting. If you're on, oops, missed some. Don't want to do that. Want to undo. I'm going to select all of the monkey parts over here and the heart. And then move him. Don't resize it. Don't do any of that. And now we're going to weld it. Now I have this to put on top. The reason that I need a solid shape is when I put that monkey on there, I want to hide that mechanism in there. I want it to blend into the background, okay? So there's a couple of ways you can do that. I wanted this to kind of look like a tree branch, but you can go in and make that mechanism the same color as your card base, your panel, and do it that way. Or you can do what I just did here. Weld those together, go back to your contour, and hide that inside cut line. Now I can cut this out of the same color as my panel here, and it's going to blend in better. I'm going to bring that to the front. So they're the same size. Everything is together. It's the same color as my panel, and it's going to hide everything. Okay? Easy, easy, easy. Did everybody follow how I did that to get this shadow layer? It's actually a shadow layer, but it's not a shadow layer. It's a contoured layer. It doesn't have an outer edge. They're going to line up perfectly, but we're going to be doing a technique to this so that it lines up and matches my background, because I'm using this as a tree branch, so it's going to be the dark brown. And I didn't want that dark brown to show above the heart. Okay, so you're going to do that. When you size this, these need to be all the same size so that when you size them, they all size together. And then you can make that, cut that from any color you want, because I actually cut this from white cardstock and did an inking technique, which I'm going to show you guys. So now you have all of that. Once you've flattened your image, if you want to put writing on there, you don't need to be attaching. You don't want to attach anything except writing after this. So get your text. I'm just going to basically duplicate this here, instead of going in and getting all that extra text. I'm going to detach. So there's all that. I flattened my music shapes on there. But all I did was take my text and then I rotated it. You can see right here it's done in writing. You want to make sure that your text is done in writing, and you want to make that on draw, and then you can select it, line it up. I didn't want it on his hands, so I did this one a little different. You can shrink it down. Add your music notes if you want to flatten them before you do your text, and then attach. So now I can see grid back here, so I know that's going to cut out. Everywhere I see grid, But if you look at the layers panel, he's attached to a print and cut. The writing is attached to the print and cut, but they are two separate. If I detach them, you can see that my flatten is all in one panel. There's not two panels on him. If you put this on, oops, if I can grab him. If you put this on and you attach it and it goes all one color, it's not properly flattened. Okay? If it changes all to pink or brown or whatever color it changes to, or gray, it is not properly flattened. Okay? And I can maybe show you here what will happen. Let me just get a basic font here. So if I have my text and I bring it on here, and I did the same thing for this guy right here, guys. I added Be My Valentine in writing. So if I bring this over, and I've got text here, and I didn't change it to writing, and I just attach that, it looks fine, but look at the layers panel. It says flatten here, print and cut, and then this says text to child your cut. So what's going to happen? It's going to print that monkey. It's going to cut it out. Everywhere I see grid back here is going to be cut out. But it's then going to cut that text out of the heart. Because I attached it, but I didn't change it to writing first. I'm telling it to cut it out of there. And then I attached it where I wanted it to cut out of. Okay? Same thing if you attach it to a square. You're telling it where on that square you want it to cut out of, and then you want it to cut the square. Okay? So make sure that when you do your text, you have changed it to writing, and then this line type is draw, and then you attach it. We used to be able just to flatten the text to it. I don't think it's going to let us do that now, but you can see here, up here it says draw instead of cut. So you can tell, if it doesn't say draw there, you can tell. I'm just going to undo that and see if it's going to let me. I'm in the classic canvas. I don't know if it's a classic canvas issue or another, but here we are. I'm going to let's see, select both and flatten. It still lets me flatten. Okay. And it's all one layer. So if you want to do it that way and have it printed on there instead of draw, you can do that. But it has to be all in one level. If you see it say cut beside, if you see two layers there like this, in here in the grayed area when you have it selected, if you have two layers, it's going to do two different actions, and that would mean it's going to cut that text out. But if you flatten, put your text on there and then select it all and flatten it all together, it will print that text on there and then just cut the shape. It will not cut that text out of the heart. I hope that that was clear as mud for everybody. Print cut can take some time to learn, but once you learn it, guys, you saw here, I combined 3 images because text, when I flattened it, became an image. I took the text image, the heart image, and that monkey image, combined them into one image. I even welded the shapes together and got another shape to go for the back of it out of those images. Oops, I flipped him, didn't somehow. No, I didn't. That's part of the file. It's okay. I'm not going to be saving this. So make sure that you get all of everything and take a look at that layers panel before you send it over to make it, and make sure that it's set up correctly, okay? Because this is your brain of your design space, and whatever you're telling it to do, that's what it's going to do. Because I'm telling it on this one, if you look at it, if you select it, it's going to highlight in darker gray what you're looking at. I've told it that I have attached something to the image, and what I have attached is text that says draw. So I know I have writing attached to it, and then everything else is flattened. So I'm telling it to print that image, cut out the shape of that image, then draw on that image. Okay? But you can create any image that you want that's in there. All of those images in Design Space, you can flatten every single image in there. Make it your own colors. If it's a print and cut, you're not going to be able to change the colors. If it's an image that's layered out, you can change the colors and then flatten it. So you can make it your own color in there. And again, you can color sync it up to another image you like the colors of, or you can go in and you can select your own colors. Okay? Not sure what we're going to be teaching next week. Guys, this was a tree in Design Space, and all I did was remove the tree trunk and flatten it. So if you're doing your own images, you can use this base for anything, guys. You can detach all of this writing. You can use this base for anything to swing. There are several cards where they have a little girl swinging on a swing with these. You can do a pendulum type. You can do guys cards with gears and stuff like that on them. But this is a fun card base. All you need is the base. All of these other things are extra pretties, and you can do anything you want. You just want a piece that you're going to put in here that's going to cover your mechanism when you put it together. And you're going to see that you can use images, use your imagination, tons of stuff. You could plop just a heart or a circle or even a half panel. You can put just another half square up here and put your sentiment on that. Okay? It's super easy and simple to do that. If you wanted to add another depth or another layer in here instead of using a shape, you can come in here and unlock a square, set that up to the same width, and then put that over your mechanism. All you're going to need to do is add another foam dot for spacing. That's it. Okay? Super easy and simple. So let's go put this card together. I'm going to close this out before I hit save. Notice that there's an asterisk. We went over this last week. If you see an asterisk, that means you have not saved. If you click on save, that asterisk will go away and your project is saved at that point. So I'm just going to close that out. I'm just going to quit. We're going to go to the overhead and put together this card. Have some fun. Yay. And I apologize that we had video issues earlier tonight because it took up a little time. But if you guys don't mind, I don't mind. I have nothing to do. But this is the card. And it's going to be hard for me. I'm laying it flat so you guys can see it. But when you move it, it's going to swing back and forth. Okay? Super easy, simple card. I did my little panel in here because we can't print and cut on large. You can print and cut a panel and stick it in here if you want. If you want to do that. But I just did my little animal and put him in there to give it a little 3D effect. And then I did some cloud inking. Now this, I should have showed you that. This is two shapes I welded together. I went into Design Space and looked for clouds. And I took two different clouds and I flipped one of them over and I welded them together. If you go into the Cricut community, you can pull this up. This is free for everybody. It was Access Images. Let me swap over and show you guys real quick, and then we'll put the card together. Right here is called Cloud Stencil. So you can go into the, let's just view all, Cricut Access. I'm going to go right here to Cricut Community. And then I'm just going to type in cloud. There's one there. I don't know if mine's going to come up. If you need my profile link, I'll give it to you. But if in my profile right here, it's called Clouds Stencil. As a matter of fact, let me just get the link. How about I share it? I don't know if it's going to let me share it, but I'm going to try it. And nope, I'm going to give it to my moderators to share because I can't chat right now. It won't let me. I have given them the link. They can post that in there for you guys. And then you can open that one up. But again, all I did was use cloud M412A0C and M4132AC. And all I did was flip one of them over and weld them together. I aligned them and weld them together just to give me a weird cloud shape. Okay? That's all I did. So let's go over and see how I use that. So here's all my little pieces, and you can see how my little monkeys cut out with them flattened, and they're all in the same color tones. And we're going to start with the base, just your basic white base. Now for this, I did use Stampin' Up! Smooth vanilla cardstock. I think that is what it's called. I don't know the exact color. Yes, I do. Whisper White. I used Whisper White. I didn't use the Very Vanilla. I used Whisper White. Stampin' Up! Cardstock. And the reason I did is because I was cutting this panel because I was inking on it, and I just didn't want to use two different colors of white and two different sheets of paper. This is some cardstock I had in my stash, and I liked it because it has the Swiss dots on it and it's kind of raised. And this is Queen's Fern from My Colors cardstock. It is a, I can't remember what kind of brand it is. I want to say it's from the My Cardstock card shop or something like that. No, My Mind's Eye. It's My Mind's Eye. My Mind's Eye cardstock. That's what it is. In case any of you have never heard of that, you can look up My Mind's Eye and get that. And I'm using art glitter glue. I just have it in my own little bottle. You cannot get art glitter glue if it's freezing in your area. It will not ship. It will freeze. You can get it from artglitter.com, also on Amazon. So I'm just going to glue that right to the front of my card and make sure I'm gluing it to the front. Always open your card and look. Make sure you're not gluing upside down and that kind of thing. Or to the back, because I have been known to glue it back here. Because I didn't look. And on this card, guys, you're also going to need a button. On the one that I just showed you I already made, I used a 3/8 inch button. Just a basic button. That's it. You get buttons all the time on your clothing that you may never use. You could use those. This is a wooden button that is for decor, for card making and stuff that I got from Close to My Heart, I believe it was. It might be Stampin' Up, but you can find these all over. The maximum size you want to go on this is 1/2 inch, and you want to make sure that it fits into that hole or less, okay? If you have your button is bigger, make that hole bigger. Just take another circle, line it up over that one, and just cut a slice, put your circle over it in design space, and slice it. You can duplicate it so you don't mess up your original file, but just make sure that the button goes through that hole, okay? I am using Carolina Close to My Heart ink for this, and I've got my little cloud shape. You can see that I used it on my other, and I'm just going to, before I start, I'm just going to dab my ink into my ink pad, and then I'm just going to brush some off, and I am going over this whole piece of cardstock. And it doesn't look like it's putting much ink down, and we don't want much ink down on this first piece. And this is just a makeup brush, guys. You can get those on Amazon too. A lot of the inkers are using these now, and I like them myself a little bit better. I don't care if I get it on my pad here and get the edges of the card. But I want to go over this whole panel. And the beauty is, if you're new to inking on this card, like I messed up right there, it's a little darker than I wanted, but I'm okay with it. If you get too dark, you got another side you can play with. You can flip this panel, it's not going to matter. Okay, so just get some ink and go over this whole card. I am using a dye ink so it doesn't smear as much. If you're new to inking, you might want to go with like the pigment inks because you can smear them a little bit more, but they do go on heavier. So now I've got my little cloud piece, and I'm just going to lay it down randomly, and I'm going to go over that edge again. Okay, and you can see how it's starting to do the cloud images. Now I'm just going to turn it, and this was the reason I put two together, so that I could get different looks out of it. And you can go as dark or as light as you want on here, guys. And let's see, I'm going to flip it this way. That was a little dark for me, but I missed my paper. But I'm just going to keep layering on my ink. Doesn't matter if it bends, it'll be all right. Take your time doing this, because if you rush it will show. Mine's showing already. I can see right here and here where I messed up. Again, you got another side so you can use it for practice. Practice on one side and then do the other. But now I have basically my clouds. So let me show you how I did this one. You know, just take your time and go slow. I had one little dark spot here, but I'm good with that. But I'm darker up here, and then I got lighter as I came down. Okay? So that's how I did that. This one's a little messy for me, but I'm still going to use it just for time purposes. So now you have this, and then in that file you've got two circles. And I did have it score on those. I cut extras. And that was just so you knew where to put your button. If it was smaller, you could find the center. But it's not necessary. You don't have to have it scored. Just going to glue my button right to the center of it. Okay? Because this is going to be my guide just to help me get it on there in the right spot and hold it in place. So I'm just going to take some glue and go around and then pop it through and glue it on. I know that sounds crazy that we did it this way, because you're like, why not just glue the button to it? Well, if your button is smaller than that hole, you don't want your mechanism getting caught in it. We want that layer of cardstock holding that back just a little bit so that your mechanism doesn't get caught in the seam if you don't get it glued edge to edge, and then it doesn't swing good. So if you put it together this way, it's going to give you a better seal, and then that's going to raise that layer of cardstock up over the edge of the button, if that makes any sense. And that way your mechanism doesn't get caught between the button and the cardstock. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is put your little mechanism over the top of it so that it has room to swing. And you want to make sure that your foam tape that you're going to be using is not thicker than your button, okay? And that's about right, that's about even, so I'm good. I can use the thick or the thin. I used the thin on the other one and it worked fine without a problem. Put your mechanism on there, and then you glue your other circle to the top of that. Okay? And now your mechanism's not going to fall off. Super easy and super simple. Did I get what from Amazon, Susan? The brushes? Yes, I did get these makeup brushes from Amazon. That's where I got them. They're super soft, super easy to use. And I forgot to ink my little guy here. As you can see right here, this looks like it blends in with the card, like it's cut out, because I inked right there in that section. I gotta look and see which way my monkey goes. It goes this way, so this is top. Just gonna ink a little bit right there in the center. Super easy and simple. Now I'm going to take my little monkey guy here and I am going to glue him together. Now if you put this together and the little monkey or whatever image you use, you can use any image you want. If your image is not swinging like you want him to, it's a weight thing between your button and your foam tape. All you need is a penny. You can tape a penny right to the back of it. I like to put the penny on there regardless, just because it helps it swing. And I just use a glue dot. And I put that right on the back. Okay? Easy, simple. You can glue it in between the layers if you want it to give it a puffy look. I did that on this one and I wasn't thrilled with it. So I'm putting it on the back of this one. And I want to give a shout out to Louise too. She made me a beautiful box for Christmas and sent me some goodies. This is the personalized box, I believe. That's the one she used that we did it last couple of years. If anybody needs that, that's in our files. Okay, now I am going to, if you want to pop dot this panel up, you can. I did not. Mine I'm putting flat down onto this panel. Just going to line it up. Give that a good rub down. And then this panel, we're going to use foam tape on it. I'm going to close my glue up so it doesn't dry up on me. I'm going to use the thick. I think the thick will be fine. Just because I don't want to get the thin out. Now this thin stuff I did get at Amazon. And it's just Pro Sticky 2 rolls double-sided foam tape. It's very thin. It's like I'm going to say, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch thin. Probably less than that. This one looks like it's 1/8 of an inch. Now, what you want to do before you put your tape on this, guys, is you want to look at it. And I'm bringing mine all the way up to that top edge. I know that I have right about, you're just going to feel where your penny or your button is right here. So I know it's right here. I want to avoid that area. And I'm just going to cut off a piece of this right here. And I am going to, across the top, cut mine in half so it doesn't get in the way of my pendulum there. You don't need a lot of this. You just want it to be propped up, basically. I'm just going to stick that right on the top. Don't want it overhanging outside, that's for sure. So we got that. Then I'm going to bring a piece down this side. Now for this card, for you guys that are using these pieces that I'm using, if you get into these tree pieces here, that's going to limit the amount of swing that you have. So be careful of that. If you want to limit the swing, that's a good thing. If you don't, it's a bad thing. I did limit mine because I didn't want it swinging too far. So I'm just going to plop down a piece of tape there. And I'm going to put a piece right down here. And then we're just going to, I have to stand up to do this so that I can get it on there. You're just going to line it up on that edge and plop it down. And if your pendulum is not swinging enough, and mine's not swinging at all, I'm not pushing it down yet. What did I do? Oh, I know what I did. When I put my cover on there, I moved it up and got glue on it. Doesn't matter if that piece gets bent. I just want my pendulum to move. There we go. Glad that glue was still a little bit wet. Would have been a disaster. So you know what to watch for. And it doesn't matter if you bend that. It'll be okay. Just make sure it's going to swing. That button may have been a little big for this, but we're going to try it. Now I'm going to put that back on there. There we go. Now it's moving. Then I'm going to decide where I want my little monkey guy. And I like that, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on his, I think I'm just going to put it directly on here. You know what I did? I forgot to put my, no I didn't, put my backing on. There we go. Just going to go down here a little bit. Right down the center. I don't want it to stick, but I do want it to stick to, I'm just going to use plastic. I lost my Teflon sheet. Just don't want glue all over my card. In case my glue squishes out, I don't want to glue him to the card. I'm just going to check. Oh, that was good. Did it good. So don't glue him down. Put your little piece of plastic in there. And you see the weight of that penny is going to keep him sliding back and forth. Perfect. Open it up. And you can skip this if you don't want this or change it out. And we're done. I did add some Nuvo drops to my tree and to my little monkey's face. If you guys want to do that, I get these at scrapbook.com, Amazon, all of those places. This is the vintage drops. They dry kind of matte. And it is Pioneer Green. I'll pull that up so you can see it. I put those on prior so they would be dry. You can use pearls or enamel dots. And then I did them, I don't know if it's going to show on his face, if I can get it to zoom in. But I did them on his little eyeballs right here. And for that, I used bronze. Dirty bronze. And that's just a sample bottle that they sent me in my Nuvo kit, so. Yes, you can make this birthday. You can make this Valentine's. These cards go together really quick. And like I said, I did a monkey on this one. You can do a little girl on a swing. And you see how far he's swinging over? If I hadn't put that little dot of tape there, he would be going further. Let me see if I can, there. See? That's what, he will go all the way up here. If you, even if you use a rectangle, whatever you use, it helps if I take off the liner. There we go. That's going to give you your stop so that he swings and stops instead of going all the way out, all the way up. Okay? Super fun and simple. Does anybody have any more Design Space questions? I'm surprised we had 20 minutes of YouTube stuff that got in our way tonight, and we had a drawing, and we're still right there. Well, we're 7 minutes over the hour. That's not bad considering our issue earlier tonight. All right, guys. I am going to, no promises. I am going to try and do a couple of things in Escal for you guys next. I'm going to shoot for Wednesday, but it may be Friday. And we may do some techniques or go over and start learning some things about Escal. I don't know. It won't be a project video. It's going to be more of a what does this button do or what does this do video, if that makes sense. And for those of you who do not know what I mean when I say Escal, because this is what I want to do for 2021, and I hope all of you guys are with me on that. If you're new to Design Space, Mondays are going to be perfect for you because Mondays are when we're going to do Design Space stuff and teach you how to weld and slice and attach and flatten. But for those of you who are experienced in Design Space and you just want more and you want to learn to use those outside programs with it better, then Sure Cuts a Lot is a perfect complement to Design Space because you get to combine the stuff that you use. And before we go, I just want to go over and show you what I mean by that, because you do have to take a couple of extra steps when you're using a Sure Cuts a Lot file. I'm going to bring both up. I'm going to start with Design Space. Because I think I forgot to show this to you guys because of all the video stuff we had going. You saw that we uploaded our file right here. Whenever you upload a file from me from Sure Cuts a Lot or other programs, it doesn't have to be just any program that you upload. When you see a line in there that's like this, it's going to come in grouped, you're going to ungroup it. Here's this panel, then you have this line. The first thing you want to do is you want to come over here because it's going to come in as a cut line. I'm going to ungroup that. You see that solid line? It will come in as a cut. If you look here with it selected, you've got to go over here to line type and you have to change that to score or it's just going to slice your base in two. Okay? So select that and attach. Now it's just like it was created in Design Space. Okay? So anytime that you have a cut line in the middle of a file like that, you have to change that cut line to a score line and then you have to attach it. Okay? Super easy, super simple. My Sure Cuts a Lot is opening up, but it's opening up on the other screen. I've got to wait for it to open before it'll let me slide it over to show you guys. There we go. So here is my Sure Cuts a Lot. And I'm just going to say a new project and say OK. So just so that I can show you that when we open up the library, we have the line in there. And we bring that line in. And I can change it to a dotted line at any time. I'm going to bring it over here so you can... What's it going to let me? It's not going to let me bring it over there. Let me view. Take my grid. There. Turn my grid off so I can show you. I can bring that line in, but it's going to be solid. I can go in and I can change that line in here somewhere. I'm still learning this right here. Line style. I can change it to a dotted line. I'm in the wrong place. Select it. I keep hitting the button instead of the style. If I change it to a dotted line, all that's going to do is make it a dotted cut line. Okay? That's all it's going to do. So if I do that and I export that, and then I bring it, I'm just going to title that line. And then I save it. I'm saving it Design Space compatible because my resolution for Design Space is 72 dots per inch. And that's what it saves it, so it comes in at the exact same size. Okay? You want to... is 5659 inches. Okay? So when I bring that into Design Space and upload it, and I save that on my desktop... Well, I said I did. Maybe I put it in my downloads. I'm trying to figure out where my file went. There we go. File. Export. Where did you send me, guys? Oh, to my Sure Cuts a Lot file. That's too much like right. No wonder I was confused on where it went. So let me browse. Let me go into my Sure Cuts a Lot files. And there it is. And open. And then that's just a line. And I'm going to bring it in. What? That did not look right. There we go. I didn't lose my internet. I'm not going to keep this. Well, maybe it's not going to let me do just a line. It's not attached to anything. It's just a cut. I just learned something new. So let me add it to a shape. But we will be going over and doing more of this. I'm just going to replace it. Save. Replace. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to Design Space. Browse. Save. That's what it is. Can't do just the line, just a dotted line. Let me get rid of that. I'm going to ungroup it. I learned something new about Escal. But you can see I brought in that line and it came in at the 5659. Perfect. But it still shows it as a cut. And all that's going to do is do a dashed cut line. Okay? That's all it's going to do. So if you want a perforated line, you would just leave it at that. So if you see a dash line that comes in on mine, if you want it scored, you have to change that line type to score on these. Otherwise, it's going to be a cut. Hi, Lisa. So lots of super fun things coming in 2021. And again, I apologize for the long video tonight, but I wanted to make sure that I covered everything, including the project. But when we do Sure Cuts a Lot projects, they are going to be Sure Cuts a Lot lessons. We might have a small project with them and we may not. Again, those will strictly be lessons. I may supply a file for you to play with in Sure Cuts a Lot. But that will be all that we do. We won't be putting anything together when we do those. The box was Marianne's box. Yeah, this box was from Marianne. Let me go over and transition again. Yeah, this is this your box or is this my box, Marianne? The personalized box? Looks like the personalized box. Yeah, she sent me that. If anybody wants to do that box, it's called the personalized box, and it's in the it's probably in all the 2017, 2018, 2019 files. I think I may have done one in 2022. Okay, CD Rusty. Guys, make sure you put your questions in caps so that we see them. How do you print out in color so that it cuts? You're confused. What are you wanting it to cut in what color, Rusty? Yes, Hetty, I'm loving Surecuts a lot. The more I use it, the more I like it. It's getting easier and easier. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I read it wrong, Sue. I just want to be sure that CD Rusty is not still confused. I hate to leave anybody in a state of confusion. I want to make sure that we get their question right so I can show it on screen so that they understand it. And I was just giving it a second before I play the outro. They may not be here. CD Rusty, if you're still with us and you don't have your question out or it's not answered, please message me on Messenger. And I will make sure that you get, if I have to do a short clip video for you, I will do that as well. But I want to make sure that you get your question answered. Yes, Surecuts a lot is going to be a lot of fun. We've played around with it. We started last year just playing around with it and getting familiar with it. I am actually taking this month to learn it in depth so that I can help you guys and we can start doing some things and actually using it a lot more. I want to just be sure that you guys who are advanced, that you who know Design Space inside and out, are going to get something out of the videos. The whole image, how I did that, let me pull that one back up. I'll just use this one here. So what I did, Rusty, is I went to images. It's going to print in the color that you want it to print in. I'm not going to change the colors and stuff. I'll show you how to change colors. I'm going to get that monkey and then I'm going to get a heart. And I'm going to insert the images. Did the heart not follow it? Let's see. Come here. So now I have this heart and I have my monkey. I have everything like I want it. Now if I want to change any of these colors, you can change the colors. Okay. Rusty, do you have a printer? Because I'm going to show you real quick right now if you're watching on screen. I have my two images, but you can see that these are not set up for print and cut. But I want them to be print and cut. Okay? So what I need to do is select this image, and I want to put this heart with it. So I'm going to arrange and move that heart to the back so that his hands are on top of it. And I'm just going to select those two and flatten. And now it's flattened to one image here in the Layers panel. So when I click Make It, now my print and cut monkey is right here with the heart. Oops. Thank you. Let me go back. I thought I did switch it, just, there we go. Let me cancel that and go back. Okay, so here's this image and here's the heart. And I'm just going to arrange and send that heart to the back. So his hands are on top. And then I select both images and flatten. You can see right here, I've got one here and one way down here. But I've only selected the two in the dark gray, and I'm going to flatten them. Okay? Now that he's flattened, I need to size him. If you've got him too big, you should get that little triangle right there. And it's going to tell you that the image needs to be reduced. Okay? So make sure you're in your print and cut parameters of, I moved the whole screen, of the 6.75 by 925. That's max for print and cut. And then once you have it put together, it should be one layer here in your layers panel. If you have more than one layer for that, when you have it selected, it's not flattened properly. Yeah, which I changed it. It's just taking a moment to get caught up. Okay, so then we're going to hit Make It. And it's going to bring it over here for print and cut. And you see here the colors. You have to have your printer and it has to be hooked up to Design Space. And I'm just going to hit Continue. And right here you're going to send to printer. I use my system dialog and I'm going to leave the bleed on. This allows me to get edge to edge color without having a white edge. And I'll show you guys that when I switch back over here in just a moment. To allow you not to have a white edge, leave that bleed on. Then you're going to select print. And it's just going to sit here and spin unless you move this window out of the way and look behind it. I'm just going to slide mine over because it will come in behind that window. And then you want to go to best print quality. And your layout may look a little bit different than mine, okay? It depends on your printer and what options you have with your printer. I am going to select rear tray and heavyweight paper because that's what I'm going to print on, and select best print quality. And then I'm going to click print. It's going to print that out on my cardstock that I've cut down to 8.5 by 11 and put in my rear feed tray. And it's going to pop it out. Hopefully I still have that over here. I kind of sort of have it because I use my scraps, guys, so don't judge me. I'm going to pop back over and show you what I have. It's going to print out just like that with that black box around it. And once you have that black box around it, like I said, don't judge me because I use this. I practiced with colors of inks that I wanted to use before I chose my ink for tonight. But it's going to print with that box around it. And then you're going to put that on the mat. And it's going to read it. And then it's going to cut out your shapes. Okay? As you can see here. Now I turned on my bleed. And that's what it does. It leaves part of that color and that blurry edge on there. Yeah, for a Mac, it goes to the back, Sue. If yours doesn't go to the back, it's okay, but I just want to know that people to know if you need to look back there if you don't see it and it's just spinning. But that gives edge-to-edge color on these so that I don't have any white edges showing, okay? If I had not left that bleed on, it may have cut like this, where it gives me no color, no white edge over here, and then gives me a white edge over here. So leaving that bleed on eliminates that, okay? Did that answer the question, Rusty? But your Cricut will read it. You have to have a printer. Your Cricut, I've seen people ask that in the group. The Cricut doesn't have any ink cartridges. The Cricut itself does not print. The Cricut only cuts. It draws and cuts and engraves, that kind of thing. But as far as printing a color, you have to have a printer connected and set up with your design space. It does come up on your windows too, Jamie. Yeah, I think it's dependent upon printer. I think one time mine came up in the front and then all of a sudden it started going to the back again. So I just know to look for it back there, and I want to make sure that others know to look for it back there as well, because that can be confusing when you're trying to do print and cut and it just sits and spins. But you cannot change the color. If that didn't answer the question, the only other thing that I can come up with that you're asking me is, how do you change color on a print and cut? If it's set up for print and cut in Design Space and it is a print and cut image, you cannot unless they give you the layers to change color on. You have to look in your layers panel and see if you can change the colors at that point. But as long as you bring in an image that has layers, you can flatten it for a print and cut. That's all Flatten does, guys. Flatten does not do anything except make your image one single layer for a print and cut. Think of a photo. When you get your picture, when you take a picture with your camera, you have captured that image. And then you take it and you have them print a picture of it. They print it on a square piece of paper. You're just telling it you want to cut a shape here. It's going to make it all one layer. Okay. You're welcome, Rusty. I want to make sure that everybody knows what print and cut is. Because we see a lot of things where people say it's not printing when they're actually meaning cut. But print and cut will cut the image that you tell it to cut. Again, if you can see the grid back there, that will be cut away. You can only change the colors if it is an image in Design Space before you flatten it. And then you can hit Make It. And then you can cut it with the blue heart. Yay! Good. Awesome, Rusty. Awesome. The way I see it, if one person learned something, then we did good. And I know I learned something tonight. I learned something with my Escal. All right, guys. I will see you either on Wednesday or Friday. That's going to be a pop-up video. We're going to go in and start talking about some Sure Cuts a Lot and playing around in there. Probably 7 o'clock Wednesday is what I'm shooting for. So thank you for joining me. Please give a thumbs up. I do, again, apologize for the long time tonight. That's not the norm. We usually try to do an hour or less so that you guys can get on with the rest of your crafting. But I hope that you all enjoyed it. I'll see you Wednesday, hopefully, if not Friday.